In my 6 years of covering Total War Warhammer, this is one of the only times I've ever started a Vampire Coast game on pause because of a massive Vanguard. It's possible that I casted one before, maybe they had like a mass Sartosan Vanguard, but this one's actual proper undead because of course the zombie pirate pistol mobs can Vanguard along with Scurvy Dogs and Morn Ghouls. This one's from Helios, I believe, on Discord. Yeah, we've got, yes, different, name here, that's hilarious, but, Fleet Admiral nonetheless. Lamprey's Revenge here, some animated hulks for some nice mass. Admiral with the pistol, yes. This missile attack, yes, and also comes with the Black Crypt for extra Winds of Magic and the Opal Amulet. Lore of Deeps, it looks like, so no healing. Instead, gonna be looking for some damage and summons with those big AoE damage spells, and of course more crabs. We've got Fellbats up in the air also for some auxiliary support. Coming up against an Empire geometry here that has some flexibility, and also the newly improved Luminarch. I've been hearing these things have been much improved. I haven't had a chance much to play them for myself, so I'm curious to see how they do here with some war wagons. Carl up in the sky. We've got a warrior priest to support on foot, Tattersouls, 3 spearmen and a triangle around the White Wolves huntsman, okay, and some spearmen shields. With the Royal Altar Fights attempting to hide in the jungle there, but, excuse me, does not appear they're actually properly hidden, so going to be obviously discovered. But, excuse me, air quality here is horrible, guys, in case you're wondering. Yeah, let's see how they kind of get about this. Both these builds are very, very different than what you would typically expect in this matchup, obviously, but Carl's going to rush in here and just cleave some bats. The Morn Ghouls are definitely an interesting one. They're going to get in all misty and weird, as the Luminarch seems to mostly just be hitting the ground so far on that slope. Hasn't really made contact with any high-value targets yet. I'm not sure exactly what it is targeting, but definitely even just shooting like the War Ghouls, trying to blast off a few of their models as they approach. Obviously, targeting the Lord here is going to be quite good, but yeah, buried in all of this high-mass stuff, it's going to be pretty hard for the Admiral to get hit by the Luminarch. Let's see from her POV. Yeah, looking pretty good, looking pretty safe behind all those big bodies as they rush up the hill. The initial forces are going to crumble away pretty quickly with the Warrior Priest supporting, Hammer of Sigmar, Shield of Faith. Those spearmen are going to get absolutely juiced with 40 melee attack and more. So looking pretty good there. Kraken's Pull also going to be unleashed here to do some massive AoE damage. Pretty much nukes the White Wolves, Huntsmen there, and those spearmen with shields as well. The animated hulks continuing to just push up the hill, but honestly, they're mostly just pushing towards their inevitable doom against these juiced spears. I don't know, maybe they can do enough damage. There's not a whole lot of spears, to be honest, but Carl juicing them up even further. It's nice to have Carl plus the Warrior Priest. You can layer a significant amount of buffs. I don't know if the Empire player even has a caster necessarily, though, but yeah, it would definitely be better with a caster. That said, all this mobility is able to rush down these war wagons. Massive amounts of Scurvy Dogs getting in, such a key unit for Vampire Coast, and yeah, Luminarch hasn't really done much. That guy's got a cool little attack animation there. I don't know if I ever noticed that before on the front, but yeah, not really going to be doing much. It's got a whopping 13 kills, 41 values, so not really much to speak of here, but not really the best build, to be honest. And again, the usage, like, arguably should have just blasted the Morn Ghouls immediately and just keep it back as much as possible. Blast whatever targets come close, but credit to Vampire Coast here, keeping those Scurvy Dogs in mobile space. Also just bogging down those Royal Altar Crypt fights. Don't know if they got completely forgotten about or what, but they've been drowning in zombies over there for quite some time, not really coming over to help. They could probably bail out this Luminarch if they were to swing over, try and rear charge these Lamprey's Revenge, especially with Carl in support. Empire Infantry's mostly doing just fine, but after winning the melee fight, they realize they're in a nice little concave of pistols here, and especially the Flagellants are just going to absolutely get mowed down. Flagellants are one of those units, honestly, you rarely see. Regiment of Renown can be pretty good. And in these situations, the regular Flagellants also are decent, but they're not the best unit by any means. For the reason why you don't see them super often. Anyway, Yeah, but Vampire Coast, relatively even on the balance of power, although the pistols don't have great armor piercing, with just massive volume of fire, will be able to do quite a bit of damage to Carl. And again, no healing here, no caster that we've seen for the Empire, so be a little bit tough. But Carl there just cleaves down one animated Hulk. It looks like we're going to get a crab summoning coming in for Admiral, just to add more big bodies as the other ones start to take damage. Yeah, it's pretty much just one animated Hulk here. Summoned rotting Prometheans. The Alto Graphites finally come in and start to help, although they're mostly massacring zombies right now, which is kind of the opposite of what they should be doing here. They really should come collapse these large targets with their halberds, but I understand not wanting to just get shot by the concave of zombie pistols, given how cheap they are and how much value they'll get. Like, even just already, these guys have probably paid for themselves twice. Yeah, one of the most cost-effective units in the game, honestly. One of the best low-tier skirmish units, certainly. But Carl going to be holding out here, fighting this absolute just seafood buffet here. Graphites again, they're trying to like bail out their own units rather than coming to assist Carl, which I definitely think is a mistake. Needed to come in and combine with Carl, especially with those buffs, having a bit of uptime here. Reikland Runefang adding melee attack, help burst down these large expensive targets even faster. Like the Lamprey's Revenge are a big part of what's propping this Vampire Coast build up. But at this point, it's going to be tough regardless. I don't know. I don't think Empire's got what it takes to finish it out, but we'll watch the massive crabs here as they beat up on Carl. The balance power will equalize a little bit once this summon drops, which is going to be relatively shortly, but even still, Alto Graphites themselves, leadership is getting pretty low. The Admiral here still has plenty of pistol shots. Yeah, very interesting. Let's see, more buffs coming in. Shield of Faith does catch the Alto Graphites as they kind of slowly get into the area of effect. They're so strung out at this point, just drowning in zombies and getting hit by various targets, that they're likely not to do much damage. They'll probably just rout here. But maybe going to have a little bit more traditional cavalry for the Empire's build here. Like, honestly, the War Wagons are a decent pick, but obviously you can't always guess that the Coasts are going to rush you with an all-Vanguard like this. His regular build would have been probably pretty good versus a more traditional Vampire Coast build, but even then, like, against cannons or deck guns, I don't know that a Luminarch is necessarily the best choice. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong about that. You guys can let me know down in the comments below if you've been using a Luminarch to countershoot cannons. It's been your experience doing such, certainly in this game. Didn't work out well for the Empire. Would have been nice to have some Empire Knights instead of those War Wagons, but anyway. Yeah, very fun stuff. Big thanks to Solaire, I believe it's Helios on Discord, for sending that one in. I'll correct in the comments if that's incorrect, but anyway, Lamprey's Revenge, definitely a big carrying piece here. They're just such a strong unit in general. The Tempelhof Luminarch honestly probably could have targeted them as much as possible, but even just blasting the Morghuls as soon as they pop into visibility, like just point blank. I also don't know if the player used the nets or not. I didn't really catch if they did, but definitely would have been good to do so. And then just keep the Alto Graphites close so they can protect and they're not so far away to be drowned in zombies. Speaking of which, the pistol mobs, absolutely spectacular performance from at least two of them. The other two are decent, even still, 289 is not bad. I mean, that's pretty cost-effective as it is. The bats are mostly sacrificed here, but that's just fine. The doggos, again, great value on them, chasing war wagons and whatnot. Who says you need armor piercing to kill war wagons, at least when they don't have any knightly support? Certainly these guys get the job done. On the Empire side, yeah, Alto Graphites come into late game and are able to do some pretty decent damage, but had they been closer to the important fights earlier on, I think that this Empire build actually could have worked pretty decently. Hard to say. Obviously, you'd want a caster. Some odd choices here, like you can just cut these guys and take the silver bullets instead, and they're going to be better like 10 out of 10 times. pretty much, but honestly, for how strange of a build it is, actually performed pretty decently. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you like the sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button. Every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again. We'll see you next time.